හරි ඊළඟ තමයි මම කිව්වේ incentive function එක incentive function එක කියලා කියන්නේ profit then in the incentive function එකේදී producers have a profit of supplying goods when the price is high. Of course producers are encouraged to supply more goods. When the price goes down, they are discouraged to supply because of fall in profit. එනම් මේ price එකත් එක්ක producers ලට තියෙනවා incentive එක. Incentive එක කියලා කියන්නේ profit එක. In other words, simply a merit what they expect. ඊළඟ තමයි rationing. In the rationing function, resources are allocated by the price mechanism in order to solve economic problems. In other words, the way of allocating resources. If the price is high, producers have a good incentive, so new producers enter into the market. More resources were allocated. Then market may have a better or efficient resources or allocation. Then both parties, consumers and producers, have a benefit. It is called rationing. Okay, අනිත් පැත්ත අපි ගත්තොත් එහෙම when the price goes down, producers have a loss, if not low profit. Then producers may leave the market. As a result, resources are once again efficiently allocated because the market may have required quantity that the society really needs. So then resources are properly allocated. So the price mechanism plays a vital role over here. Simply price of the change වෙනකොට price එකෙන් market එකේ shortage එකක් surplus එකක් නැතුව හැම එකම clear කරන්න පුළුවන්. consumers ලට shortage එකකුත් නැහැ, producers ලට surplus එකකුත් නැහැ. shortage එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ වැඩිපුර customers ලා ඉන්නවා, දැන් demand එක වැඩි. එතකොට අලුතින් market එකට suppliers ලා එන්ට වෙනවා. profit එක වැඩි හින්දා. එතකොට අර shortage එක නැති කරලා දාන්න පුළුවන්. surplus එකක් තියෙනවා නම් ඉන්න producers ටික market එකකින් යනවා because of low prices. ඒතර incentive එක අඩු වෙනකොට ආයිමත් අර surplus එක නැති වෙලා යනවා. හරි. We'll start writing over here on dotted lines. Signaling function is where both consumers and producers are given a direction how to make their own decisions. Example, if the price goes up, producers are given a signal to produce more. Incentive function is where producers incentive function is where producers have a profit of supplying goods which is determined by the change in the price of a good. Example, if the price is high, the incentive is also high. Next one. Rationing function is where producers are encouraged or discouraged to supply such a good due to the change in the price in which excess demand and excess supply can be eliminated. Hi. Then I added such a word. Price mechanism determines the price of goods and services in the good and service market. Also, price mechanism determines the factor income like wages in the factor market. මෙතන market දෙකක් ගැන තමයි කියන්නේ. එකක් goods and service market, අනිත් එක තමයි factor market. එතකොට goods and service market එකේදී use කරන්නේ නැත්නම් exchange වෙන්නේ goods and services. Factor market එකේදී exchange වෙන්නේ factors of production. ඒ කියන්නේ labor. හරි. ඊට පස්සේ ඊළඟ feature එක තමයි self interest. Self interest කියලා කියන්නේ profit එක. What does the producer expect of supplying such a good? Self interest is the reward that the private sector expect. Simply profit. තමන් කැමති එක තමයි තමන් කැමති දේ. Private sector එක නම් එයා resource ටික use කරලා production එකක් කරනවා නම් distribution එකක් කරනවා නම් එයාගේ self interest එක තමයි profit කියන්නේ. ඒක ගැන තමයි මේ discuss කරන්නේ. I added such a description over here. හරි චුට්ටක් කියව ගන්න.
Mechanism determines the factor income like wage in the factor market. Self-interest. Economic self-interest refers to the financial theory that says people should make economic decisions based upon the best outcome for themselves. Self-interest is defined as a way of promoting activities and beliefs that serve to benefit the person making the decision over any other parties involved. Hence, profit is the self-interest of private sector employing resources for the production. In this case, profit is the major incentive of private sector.
ඊළඟ තමයි feature එක consumer sovereignty. මෙතන consumer sovereignty කියලා කියන්නේ the goods, simply goods are available in the market which are demanded by consumers. මිනිස්සුන්ට ඕන දේවල් තමයි market එකේ තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට මේ free market කියන එකේදී production එක වෙනවා. ඒ production එක producers ලා production එක කරන්නේ ඒ විදියට මිනිස්සුන්ගේ ඕන දේවල් බලලා නේ. private sector එකේ ඉන්න කට්ටිය circle of the market research කරනවා. මිනිස්සුන්ට ඕන දේවල් හොයලා බලනවා. ඒ විදියට මිනිස්සුන්ට ඕන දේවල් නම් හදන්නේ. අපි එකට කියනවා consumer sovereignty කියලා. හැබැයි මේක ඇත්තටම market එකේ තියෙන එකක් නෙමෙයි. මේක තියෙන්න ඕන එකක්. It's a compulsory feature in a market, but nowadays this is a myth. In other words, this is not a fully correct sentence because private sector, I mean the producer, can also supply such a good without considering people's needs and wants. Just they make a product and they introduce such a good to the entire market through advertising campaign. And ඒ විදියට මේ consumer sovereignty එක තිබුණාට තියෙන්න ඕන වුණාට market එකේ ඇත්තට මේ feature එකක් නැහැ. ඇයි private producer ට පුළුවන් consumer influence කරන්නේ. Consumer decision can be influenced through the imposition of, through the introduction of advertising campaign, promotion. They produce what they need and finally they introduce on consumers for the wealth of consumers. හරි. තව මෙතන දාලා තියෙනවා බලන්න එක කියව ගන්න එකත් එක්කම.
Incentive of private sector. Consumer sovereignty. This is the idea that it is consumers who influence production decisions. Firms will respond to consumer preferences and so produce the goods demanded by consumers. Others argue that consumer sovereignty is a myth. Firms produce goods and use marketing techniques to sell consumers goods they don't really need or want. Producers also decide the production of goods and services without considering consumer requirements. Therefore, goods are not available which demanded by consumers always. Thus, consumer sovereignty is not fully correct in the market economy. Functions of price mechanism. The free market means that economic decisions are taken by private individuals and firms. Everything is owned and operated by private individuals. In a pure free market, there would be no government intervention in the economy. But there are no pure market economies in the world. However, in practice, governments usually involve themselves in the implementation of certain laws and certain public services, even if only national defense and the protection of private property in market economies.
Like benefits of a free market. Market එකක් කියන්නේ example එකක් විදියට USA, Japan ඔය එකක් කියලා මම කිව්වා. එතකොට USA, Japan ඒ economy එක දිහා බැලුවයින් පස්සේ markets are somewhat competitive. So production is very high. අන්න ඒ විදිහේ system එකක් තමයි මේ market economy එකේ තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට consumers ලට තියෙන products ගාන වැඩි. Consumer sovereignty එක තියෙනවා. Consumer maximizes their wealth because of quality products, innovations, even new technology. Then consumers may have a freedom. Such a goods are available in the market, so they have a greater opportunity to select what they really need. Market එකේ competition එක තියෙන වැඩිම අපි දැන් USA economy ගත්තොත් එහෙම අපේ වගේ government sector එකේ production එකක් නැහැ. Production එක වෙන පස්සේ අපි example bus services, we have government services, private sector services. When we come to USA economy, mainly private. Even schools, mainly private. A system එක යන්නේ. But government intervenes if they really need for certain activities, maybe implementation of law and order, imposition of taxes, ඒ වගේ දේවල් වලට. benefits ටිකත් අපි කියව ගමු.
Governments usually involve themselves in the implementation of certain laws and certain public services, even if only national defense and the protection of private property in market economies. Benefits of a free market. 1. Firms have incentives to be efficient and provide goods and services demanded by consumers. This is called consumer sovereignty. 2. The market may not include any shortages and surpluses when price mechanism allocates its resources. 3. The profit motive provides an incentive to cut costs and make efficient use of scarce resources. Therefore, many quantity and quality goods can be seen in the economy. A larger number of goods and services are available for the growth of the country. 4. Improvements in technologies and greater production into the economy. 5. Availability of economic freedom.
Right. Then we have to discuss disadvantages of a free market economy. Simply, we can say problems, inefficiencies. Over here in the free market economy, there are problems. It is called market failure. The term we use here, market failure. අපි ගත්තොත් එම example එකක් විදියට public roads. එතකොට මේ public road එකක් ඕන කෙනෙක්ට use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Also, it's an essential service, essential good. හැබැයි ඒක supply කරන්නේ government එක විතරයි. Resources are allocated but by the government. Because the private sector එකට ඒක supply කළා කියලා profit එකක් ගන්න විදියක් නැහැ. Profit එකක් නැත්තම් ඒ market එකේ production එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට ඒ ප්‍රොඩක්ට් එක මාකට් එකෙන් මිසින් වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. අපි කියනවා මිසින් මාකට් එකක්. ඒක මේකේ තියෙන ඉෂුව එකක්. අපි තව එක්සාම්පල් එකක් ගත්තොත් එහෙම merit goods. merit goods කියලා කියන්නේ education, health care වගේ දේවල්. ඒවා the hospital, private schools මේවා තියෙනවා මාකට් එකේ. මොකද private sector supply කරන්න පුළුවන්. But private sector can supply but little. ඒ කියන්නේ prices are somewhat high. Prices are somewhat high. Quantity is lower. Then private sector may have a problem. Especially means consumers have a problem because they can't access much merit goods because goods are not available or else goods are really expensive. අපි දැන් එක example එකක් ගත්තායින් පස්සේ අපේ private hospitals තියෙනවා නේද? ආසිරි වෙන්න පුළුවන්, නවලෝක වෙන්න පුළුවන්. මේවා expensive than the government services. එතකොට ඒක නිසා හැමෝටම මේක afford කරන්න බෑ. ඒක failure එකක්. ඊළඟ තමයි too much of demerit goods. Alcohol, cigarette වගේ දේවල්. මේවා addicted products as well as harmful for the person as well as the rest of the society. May production never too much. There are a lot of even smuggling, illegal stuffs than society needs. Prices somewhat lower. Take a price එක නිසා too much of supply into the market. Then because private sector can earn profit. So then too much of supply sends inefficient allocation of resources. Next one, we can say information failure. A market එකේ හැම product එකක් ගැනම consumers ලට details නැහැ. For example, when we go and meet our doctor, we don't know what is the prescription written by the doctor, but we will get all the medicines from a pharmacy. Then we will have it. But it is sometimes it is not the required medicine. But we don't have knowledge how to tackle such a correct medicine. When there are information gaps, resources are misused. Monopoly power එකක් සමහර ලාවට මාකට් එකේ එක producer විතරයි ඉන්නේ. Only one supplier. As a result, goods can be charged or some products are sold at a very high price. It's unfair. ඔන්න ඔය වගේ reasons ටිකක් තියෙනවා market failure එකේ. නැත්නම් disadvantages of market economy එකේ. හරි ලියාගමු. First one. Non-provision of public goods. Non-provision of public goods. Put a dash and continue in front. Public goods such as national defense and street lighting are not provided by the private sector because of free rider problem. Second one, Under provision of merit goods. Under provision of merit goods. Put dash and continue. Merit goods such as education and healthcare. Are supplied at a very high price and hence everyone in the society is unable to afford merit goods equally. Next one. Third one. Over provision of demerit goods. Over provision of demerit goods. Note down. Demerit goods such as alcohol and cigarette, alcohol and cigarette are overconsumed because of lower prices first term. Next one, fourth one. Monopoly power. Monopoly power. Production continue. This is where a single firm dominates the industry. and therefore consumers are exploited by charging higher prices. Consumers are exploited by charging higher prices. Next one. Externalities. Externalities. Pull dash and continue. This is where consumers and producers make a decision which does not associate with socially optimum production and consumption. First up, one more sentence for the same. In other words, there is an overconsumption or underconsumption in the market. Right. අපි free market economic කියන්නේ මොකක්ද කියන දක්වා අපි ඩිස්කස් කළා. ඊට පස්සේ අපි කතා කරන්නේ central plan economy. අපි lesson එක next week එකට දාමු. next week එකේදී අපි ඒක ඩිස්කස් කරමු. අපි අද market economy system කියන්නේ මොකක්ද, ඒක economic problems ටිකයි, market economy කියන එකයි, price mechanism, ඒ features ටික අපි ඩිස්කස් කරලා advantages and disadvantages උත් කතා කළා. හරි. අපි අද මෙතනින් ක්ලාස් එක නවත්තමු. Right then, good night for all.